Today, we're swinging straight into a massive, highly anticipated release, Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, the buzz around this one has been literally deafening, promising a real tightrope walk between a gritty, grounded narrative and that massive, explosive spectacle we all buy tickets for. So let's just dive right in and see if it actually sticks the landing. Think about it for a second. When you picture a truly great superhero movie, what instantly comes to mind? Is it the heart, the humor, or maybe it's that edge-of-your-seat, high-energy action? Well, if you're looking for a film that somehow miraculously balances all three of those things, you are definitely in the right place.
All right, here's our quick roadmap for today's explainer. We'll start with number 1, the grounded Spider-Man, followed by 2, the emotional core, and 3, the action review. Then we'll cover 4, a parental guide and drawbacks, before finally landing on number 5, the final verdict.
Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, the grounded Spider-Man. And moving right along to Section 2, the emotional core. You know, at the absolute center of this movie is Peter Parker, a character who, let's be honest, has always worked best when he feels entirely human. We aren't just talking about saving the world here. We're dealing with really intense, recognizable, everyday struggles. The crushing pressure of living a double life, profound, isolating loneliness, and just the brutal, heavy reality of trying to keep going when life just keeps throwing punches at you. That deeply grounded emotional core is really what anchors this entire film right from the jump. And of course, you absolutely cannot talk about that emotional weight without talking about Tom Holland. I mean, wow. He brings this rare, genuine sincerity, vulnerability, and just massive charm to the role. He doesn't feel like some untouchable, godlike icon. He feels like a kid who's just desperately trying to keep his head above water. Actually, I'd say the real triumph of Brand New Day is how perfectly it balances two competing forces. On one hand, you have the fast-moving, wildly explosive spectacle of a giant blockbuster, but running right alongside it, you feel the immense, palpable stress that Peter is under. It's brilliant, because the emotional stakes never, ever get drowned out by the giant explosions. Which brings us to Section 3, the action review. Now, make no mistake about it, this is a massive, high-octane theatrical event. The action sequences are blisteringly fast, and they are incredibly visually creative. But here is the absolute best part. The choreography is actually clear and easy to follow. I know, a minor miracle in modern blockbusters, right? The pacing is just relentless, building this massive tension without ever sacrificing an ounce of forward momentum. Finding the right tone for a superhero movie is honestly like a high-wire act. If you lean way too hard one way, it becomes this bleak, overly dark brooding fest. Lean the other way, and it's completely lightweight and totally weightless. This movie, it's kind of the Goldilocks of the genre. It hits the humor, the grief, and the thrills right in that absolute sweet spot. All right, let's shift gears for Section 4, parental guide and drawbacks. For anyone planning a family trip to the theater, it is absolutely crucial to know what you're walking into. The film carries a PG-13 rating for intense action, peril, and your standard comic book violence. Now, while teens and adults are going to have an absolute blast, just be aware that some of the heavier, more intense sequences might actually be a bit much for much younger kids. And look, to be completely fair and objective here, the film isn't totally flawless. If you're a veteran of the superhero genre, you're probably going to see some of these familiar story beats coming from a mile away. A few of the emotional turns are definitely a bit predictable, and ultimately it does play things relatively safe, rather than taking any massive, daring narrative risks. But honestly, here's the thing. Even with those familiar beats, the execution is just so incredibly confident that it remains wildly entertaining and engaging the entire time. Sometimes, just playing the hits really works. So, wrapping things up with Section 5, the final verdict. Overall, Spider-Man Brand New Day is a remarkably strong entry. Sure, it might not reinvent the wheel, but it delivers exactly what matters most: jaw-dropping action paired with real, palpable emotion. It's a beautifully character-driven ride, packed with so much heart and energy that it's absolutely going to satisfy both the die-hard webheads and totally casual moviegoers alike. So, based on all the source material we analyzed today, Spider-Man Brand New Day earns a very solid 7.5 out of 10. This is a strong recommendation for anyone just looking to lose themselves and have a great time at the movies. I'm going to leave you with this one final thought to chew on. Are hearts and high energy enough for you to buy a ticket? Does a genuinely grounded emotional core and spectacular action outweigh a story that plays a bit safe? Think about it.
Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. Keep learning, keep exploring, and I will catch you on the next one.